Thank you for tuning in to Free Flow Fridays with Cynae TheGoddess.
Going in. Family and nice like we snowed it in. Bring the respect, make it snow again. Then bundle up, bring the Mitches in. Hot like a dark, hella melanin.
Welcome to Free Flow Friday with me, your host, Cynae TheGoddess, and our special guest. I'm not going to butcher his name. I swear I read his name all the time and I feel like I'm going to butcher it. So why don't I let him introduce himself?
Hello, Goddess. This is Matcher. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very good, very good. This is Matcher. The name on the screen says Matcher Maa. There's a meaning behind it, but Matcher, you could just say like you met me when you were sitting in a chair. Matcher.
Matcher. Okay, I got it. I love it. Well, thank you for coming out and being a guest on our show tonight.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a hot set. This is the Free Flow Fridays. Can't get better.
It's all free flow. It's all free flow. Well, so introduce yourself. Let our guests know what you do. I don't want to spoil the fun, and then we're going to dive into some things.
Okay. Well, I'm this guy. You know, you may see me around grocery store. You might see me walking down the street. Look like an average guy, right? Well, I also happen to be a fifth grade elementary teacher. I do some work in the community with my partner in rhyme, co-work in the community, Rain Ipa. And also, I consider myself to be a performing artist. I write spoken word poetry as well as play a little bit of guitar, play around with guitar from time to time. So,
all right.
Yes. Now, what, as you say, we're going to get into a few things, and they kind of tie into each other. All of the things that I've mentioned kind of tie into my desire to try to do some things that are meaningful,
Right.
similar to what you're doing. I know you're very modest, okay, but with all the things that you're trying to do, giving people a platform and giving a variety of people a platform, wanting to try to do some things that can impact others. That's mainly what I'm attempting to do.
Yes. I just love to be able to help everybody. I want everybody to sit at the table and let's all eat. You know what I'm saying? So I was very excited for you to come onto the show. We do have a little sneak peek of a preview for the fans here. We do have a little video of your poetry.
Okay. I hope I wasn't messing up on it.
For them. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to know a couple of things first. So let's just get into a little bit of background here. Tell me what started you on your artistic journey? Like, what made you say, I know this is what I want to do, is express myself artistically?
Well, first of all, it began before I even had an idea of wanting to do it. We were little, and back then, in the small town we grew up in, I guess the adults were very competitive or something, because they wanted us to make sure that we were showing that we were intelligent or whatever. So my parents, and especially my grandparents, would make us learn these long poems for Christmas, for Easter, while we were at church, right? And while other kids were able to say Happy Easter Day, right, or Merry Christmas, you know, Joseph and Mary, we going through this long book like we were reading chapters, right? And if we got anything wrong, my grandfather was sitting right on the front row like this. We already knew what it was. It was going to be some stuff, right? So,
right.
The idea of speaking in public was something that, although I didn't necessarily like at the time, it got me used to it. Later on, as we started getting into, as I got older, started getting into talking about some of the things that were going on in society, where people were being treated and misrepresented, one of the ways that maybe that information could be gotten to people was through writing. And I will say, I'm going to be honest, when I started writing poetry, my idea was, hey, I see guys up on stage, they say their poetry look like these ladies kind of like them, right?
Yeah. The ladies like the poetry.
But here's the problem. My idea was to try and do what they were doing, but that wasn't me. So
Right.
I wasn't really into it, and you could tell. But once I started writing about some of the issues that we have as a people, the way that we are trying to assimilate without understanding who and what we are, then my writing kind of took off because I was passionate about that.
Right.
And as I started doing that, I then started learning about other people who were doing those types of things way before I even thought about getting on stage and whatever. And so some of the people who were expressionists, Amiri Baraka, Oscar Brown Jr., people like that. And of course, some of the last poets that a lot of people know about, who brought brought a bit of poetry to people, but were speaking about real issues,
Right.
And that, even when you're talking about relationships, there are things that we can bring out, things that guys need to work on, things that women may need to work on, handle, just as individuals. And so it became much more important to me. And so it was showing in my writing.
So tell me, what was probably one of your first poems that you would consider a favorite?
You know what? Oh, man. Okay. There was a poem that I did because some of the poems, I was like, let me get ready to this. But the first poem where I was like, you know what? This is really the direction that I want to go. There was a poem called Heavenly Brown. It wasn't very long, but it kind of gave a succinct idea of my viewpoint of the Black woman, regardless of what kind of status she is, whatever, regardless of what she's doing in her life. There's just this level of importance that some of us don't seem to place on Black women. And so the poem Heavenly Brown, just a bit of it was, there's a perfect creation whose color is heavenly brown, Black woman. Without making a sound, you have such a profound effect on everything around you. I love everything about you, from your cocoa-colored eyes to those caramel-flavored thighs that put out vibes that can still be felt on the most distant star. But the essence of who you truly are is in your soul. In you, our seed grows. From you, spiritual energy flows. They say God rested on the seventh day, and I can see why. He worked on you from Monday through Friday. You're like a fine Chardonnay or expensive jewelry from Cartier, and any man who could see would say the same. And if I was able to give you a name, it would be Heavenly Brown. Can you put So that, when I wrote that, that's actually how I view. So it wasn't me trying to imitate some guy that was talking up under somebody's. I'm not saying that there's not anything wrong with the erotic poetry. I'm just saying that for me, my way of conveying a thought had needed to be the way I would say it.
Yeah, of course. You needed to find your own voice. You need, and that, might I say, was beautiful. I loved every word of that, and I really want to know where the rest of it is, because I'm sure it's a little bit longer. Yeah, because I'm giving all snaps for that. Okay, I'm giving all snaps for that. So you said you had a partner. Do you want to tell us who your partner is?
Oh, well, when I said partner in rhyme, since 2000 and back then, this brother that I met at work, right? So I'm writing very, very, okay. He's in the room anytime he's in the room.
Well, bring him on the camera. What? We'll love to meet him.
No, I'm talking about when I said partner, I'm talking about rhyming partner. I'm talking about writing partner. He's not in my place. He's at his own place. But I'm talking. When I said partner in rhyme. Like
I know. I thought he was there with you because he was trying to support your interview tonight or something. I'm just like, okay.
He out running around. I would say that he's probably helping somebody, but when it gets nightfall, he goes and does his party thing. But people who may be watching may know of Rain Ephah. He's one of the poets that is a part of the Brown Sugar Lounge. But he and I
go. That's what I wanted to get to. Brown Sugar Lounge. Let's talk about it.
Right. He's one of the actually one of the founders of the Brown Sugar Lounge. But he and I go back as far as the poetry scene. Whoa, man, back to Black Image bookstores, doing for him there. There's a place called International Cafe that Natasha Carasosa had. These were like way back in the day. So we would go just anywhere, library, side of the street. You know what I mean? Anywhere you could. And so we've just been around that long. And so, we not only bounce ideas off of each other, but also if there's something that's needed to be done, whether it's a toy drive, back to school things, whatever the case may be, well, we are down and ready to go. Because that's also a part of just talking about it is not enough. You got to be about it. Like my shirt's hard to see what the shirt says, but you gotta always walk the divine talk. If you're gonna say you're doing something, that's great. We want to see if the actions meet the words, right? And so what we normally talk about in our poems are things that we actually buy into, ascribe to, and actually perform. It's great to have people that have viewpoints that are similar. Where, as you mentioned earlier, as you're wanting to do, helping people and doing it because you're wanting them to succeed, right? Not necessarily because they agree 100% with what you do, or you always see them in the spots where you are, but because of the fact that they may have some type of expression that is something that could be helpful or entertaining to those that are out there, you know?
Absolutely. I love being able to bring people out and be able to showcase their talents and their work. That's amazing to me. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our very first artist that we're gonna be featuring tonight. And so our very first song is going to be let me check my little cheat sheet here because I don't want to get it wrong. So our first artist is going to be, the song will be Hurt My Wrist.
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
Yeah. Aye. You know we had to turn up again. Smoke that perk, get lit. Aight, roll that perp, I'm lit. Aight, smoke that perk, get lit. Aight, roll that perk, get lit. Aight, smoke that perp, I'm lit. Aight, smoke that. Aight, look at my shirt, my fit. Aight, look at my shirt, my fit. Aight, look at my shirt, my fit. Aight, hope it don't hurt my wrist. 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 Yeah. Aight. More Trojan than the Vikings. Go to my team, no whitening. Diamonds dripping like it's lightning. I got a cup of that purple yellow. I'm with the plug, we gon' work together. Fuck with the gang, we gon' take a picture. Just might put you on the shirt forever. Yeah. Roll that kush like jam rock. Young nigga about to go ham. Fuck that shit, nigga, I'm going ham. Hot, blink, blab. Rings on my finger like Jordan, nigga, I don't need a damn watch. She say Frisk ain't hit that, I already hit that. Ma'am, stop. Wait till I get that lamb drop. I'm gon' make that lamb drop. Puffin' on endo, feeling like Cameron doing donuts with the window. Down like the bullets on the ground when a nigga hit the block drive by, no extendo. Old niggas hating on the game. Nigga thought Call of Duty was a Tendo. Smoke that perk, get lit. Aight, roll that perp, I'm lit. Aight, smoke that perk, get lit. Aight. I roll that perk, get lit. I smoke that perp, I'm lit. I smoke that. I look at my shirt, my fit. I look at my shirt, my fit. I look at my shirt, my fit. I hope it don't hurt my wrist. 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 Yeah.
Welcome back to Free Flow Friday with me, your host, Cynae TheGoddess, and our special guest. What did you say? Matcher?
Matcher.
Matcher. Okay, I'm gonna butcher his name the whole night, y'all. Forgive me in advance. It's a beautiful name. I'm just terrible with names. I'm just gonna be honest. So that was one of our Dallas local artists with "Hope It Don't Hurt My Wrist." Damn. So drop in the comments what you think. If you want to be one of our featured artists on Free Flow Friday, please drop a comment in the comment section here, or send me an inbox and let me know that you would like to be one of our featured artists. But we're going to get back to our special guest here. We were just talking about his poetry and what got him started and motivated in poetry, and we were just ending up on the Brown Sugar Lounge. So can you tell us where the Brown Sugar Lounge is located?
Yes, Brown Sugar Lounge goes down normally goes down at the south side at Lamar, okay, near downtown on the second floor. The location is called YLA, but it's actually room 232, right? That's normally what we do. This Saturday, because of the fact that we're going to be doing this 3-year explosion anniversary type thing, right? Then the location that we're going to have that one is going to be at a place called Snooki's.
And where's Snooki's going to be located so our fans can follow you guys?
Exactly. The Snooki's location, just so that you all understand really quickly, I have what's called a My Phone, not an iPhone. So it goes a little bit slower than the regular phone.
Tell me about it.
Fortunately. So, but I will get to the information here. And by the way, while I'm pulling this information up, the fact that the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I know Texas in general, but the Dallas-Fort Worth area has so much talent. And with you showcasing, I mean, I know some other places, you know, Houston, Austin, yeah, DFW has some talent.
We do. We really do. And I'm ready for all of them to come and hit this platform so we can get them out there. We trying to come and see where y'all at. We trying to see y'all performances. We trying to get y'all fan base up. We really are. That's exactly what this platform is for. So our up and coming artists, whether it's poets, spoken word artists, whether you're an instrumentalist and you play guitar or the saxophone or the piano, hell, you play the flute. You know, like, this is the platform for that. You rap, you sing, you're a comedian. This is the platform to get your name out there, to get your material out there, to get eyeballs and ears on you. Like, that is exactly why I started doing all of this, because we don't have enough of underground artists getting the exposure that they really need. You know what I mean? Dancers included. When I say artists, I mean performing arts of all, you know what I'm saying, realms. So I'm just super grateful that you agreed to be here with us today to let everybody be in your business a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, I don't have to see what all is going on back there. I got some dirty dishes. Y'all need to know about that. Okay,
I know that's right.
But
I know that's right.
See what I'm saying? So Snooki's is at 4041 West Wheatland Road, number 152. That's suite number 152. So basically, when you get off of when you're driving on 67, driving on 67, as if you're going to what used to be Blackbird Mall, I know it used to be Redbird Mall, but we used to call it Blackbird. You're going in that direction, get off on Camp Wisdom. When you get off on Camp Wisdom, that shopping center area, or no, it's just down a little bit. You get on Camp Wisdom, go down a little bit, and you'll get to, if you have GPS, if your phone is not like mine, and it tells you where you're going, well then it will get you there immediately. It will be no problem. And Snickies will be right in the little corner, right in the little section right there. Got plenty of room. Now we do have all of the online tickets have been sold.
Okay.
But the door tickets are still available. Just make sure you get there early. Like, 7,
Okay.
7:15,
Y'all, that's Oak Cliff area for anybody who's really not from here. That is the Oak Cliff area, Redbird, Old Redbird, Oak Cliff area, Wheatland, Camp Wisdom, that area over there. Okay, so that's what they have going on this weekend. Apparently, pre-sale tickets are all sold out, so you still have time to get your tickets at the door. So definitely come out and support these Dallas artists trying to get their material out there. But let's get to you. Tell me some of the artists that influenced you on your path in your career.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, as far as poetry is concerned, I actually started learning about certain poets after I began writing. It was, I guess, kind of a reverse situation. It wasn't like I saw them or heard them and became inspired by them. A lot of the people that inspired me were people that were on the Dallas scene that I witnessed at open mics, featured poetry events and things of that nature. Then I started finding out about some of the real, the people that were, the men and women that were wrecking shop before we came around. Now, in other areas, because as I say, not only am I a performing artist when it comes to poetry, but I do a little bit of guitar playing. My musical tastes go all over the map, in and everywhere.
Do you have your guitar with you?
It's back there talking to me, listening to us talk over here.
Look, I'll grab mine if you grab yours.
What? Well,
listen, I don't know how to play mine. I'll just grab that motherfucker. But
and I'll grab mine too. I'll just,
oh my God, it's an electric guitar. So mine is an acoustic. I love acoustic.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I love
I
acoustic.
actually need to get an acoustic myself.
I'm gonna bring my baby out. I'm gonna break her out so y'all can see my baby.
Yeah, let me check that out.
I hardly take her out because when I get ready to take her out, I be ready to try to figure out what to do with her.
Wow.
So if anybody who doesn't know me, my favorite color is pink.
Okay.
And I am teaching myself how to play the
Very
guitar.
good. Very good. That actually was what I ended up doing. My mother, God rest her soul, was trying to do, like most moms do, like most women do, trying to do any and everything for the people they care about. And
right.
Those folks halfway are thankful for it, right? Take advantage and all this. So she tried her best to get me to learn to take guitar lessons when I was younger, because I was, into all kinds of stuff, especially rock at certain points. And so she got me a guitar, she got me an instructor, and me and my lazy self,
didn't do nothing.
It was terrible. So when I got older, I'm like, this is pitiful. I'm not going to do this. I know this is a whole lot of years in the making, but I'm going to learn this sooner or later. So I went to Guitar Center. After I got my guitar and my amp, I went ahead and got a DVD on basics of the blues, just the basic scales, right? And a book. And I already knew I was going to sound terrible. I knew it. I knew I was going to hit the wrong note just about every day I tried practicing. But I was not going to let that deter me. Or discourage me, which was one of my biggest issues, allowing myself to that talk in my head. Oh man, you can't do this. You know how bad you sound? People gonna laugh at you. Yeah.
That's a great topic. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about self-sabotage within the artist community, because we are really our biggest critics. Like, in all honesty, we are our biggest critics. We're our biggest enemies. Like, let's talk about that. Did you ever have a negative self-image?
Well, yes. And it came way before I had any, before I had any desire to want to play an instrument or perform a spoken word poem. It was a situation where, and I don't know, there were a number of things that were going on at the same time. I come from a small town compared to Dallas. Things were divided literally by a railroad track. Poor people, which mainly meant Black and Hispanic, were on one side of the track. Affluent people, which normally meant Caucasian people, were over on the other side of the track. And there was this understanding that you just did not go to each side of the track unless there was some business that you had. You just go over there hanging out, that wasn't going to happen. Right. And so growing up, but we had integrated school. So we grow up and they would categorize you by how well you could read and all this other stuff. And I normally was the only Black kid in my group. And I was also a talkative kid. So I talked to the people that were around me. They just happened to be Caucasian kids. Well, as I was growing up, I'm hearing all of the little jokes that I'm sure their parents told them about why are this part of my hands and feet not brown because God spray paint. They think all that stuff's funny, right? All the jokes. And so, so I'm at some point in time, I start not having a very good self-image and having a desire or wondering why I don't have the image that they have. Because again, remember, during this time, most of the TV shows, most of the commercials, cartoons, all of that looked like them.
Right.
Didn't look like them or didn't look like us. So there was no representation unless, he was a pimp, right? Or one of the guys that they just caught coming out of the grocery store that was trying to steal, so that
they were always making us out to be the criminals in television and or society, like that's the weirdest thing in the world. But I mean, I guess it's not really any different because they're still doing it now. But
you see what I'm saying?
We're
a little bit more empowered at this particular point because we have we are unafraid to show that we have an understanding of who we are. At that point,
of us are white there.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just grew up, not really liking a whole lot about me. I love my parents and all, my mom and all that, but just looking at me, there's just some level of inferiority that I had in my mind. And that went along with what I thought I could do. I remember just really quickly, there's an excerpt in the Malcolm X movie that Spike Lee did when Malcolm X was a little kid, and the teacher was telling him, "You can't be this, you can't be that. You could. Why don't you try to be a carpenter? That's a good job for you, And so it's kind of like you have this impression that there are certain things you can do and certain things you're not able to do. At least that's how I that's the thought I had in my mind. Even growing up until I got into high school, that mentality kind of followed me around. And so it was great that, and I'll tell you what really helped. I understand I love my mom and my parents all them to death. They ran me to church 2-3 times a week, and all of this. But what really changed my way of thinking was when hip hop started introducing cultural awareness into their rhymes.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, Cool J, they were definitely giving you a storyline back in the day.
Yeah, and so the message with Melly Mel and being serious about what happens to someone whenever they go to jail and all these other things. It was not something I was used to. And KRS-One, Public Enemy, they started actually, and Rakim started actually talking about being more than just what you are after slavery. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold on.
More than just a criminal, more than
what are they talking about? So then that sparked me to start wanting to look for things. So I start going to bookstores, like I said, Black Images, Pan-African Connection. I just started looking for information to verify what they were saying, and that kind of put me on the path of recognizing the greatness that we obviously were being that was being kept from us, So it was that is really the benchmark. I can say 23 years old. I will never forget, that was when I started getting that information, and I'm not turning back now.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So before we get in and dive into this thing any further, we're gonna go ahead and get to our next featured artist, which is Miss Kiasha with Simple. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Underestimate me, babe, cause you're hearing good things in the street, babe. This loving I got for you free, babe. I can be everything that you need, babe. But you gotta keep it together and stop getting hyped up by whoever. You're playing this game and you win it. Think you gon' get away with it? Never. So what's on your mind, boy? Oh, don't be shy, boy. What you tryna hide, boy? You've crossed the line, boy. See, I've got an issue with things that you do. I gave you just one rule. I'll spell it out to you. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You know, don't rain me. Just don't mess with me. It's simple. So simple. It's only so much a good girl can take. You got me fed up. I'ma show you crazy. It's simple. So simple. It's only so much a good girl can take. You got me fed up. I'ma show you crazy. It's simple. So simple. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You know, don't rain me. Just don't mess with me. It's simple. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. So simple. See, I can just look in your eyes. Yeah, that look on your face as you lying. See, right now it ain't no sense of trying to convince me you ain't did no crime. Sneaking in late at night. Been through this too many times. Promised I wouldn't cry. I just can't stop wondering why. Now I know I may look naive, but that doesn't mean I can't see. So I guess you're really trying to be like the last dude that cheated on me. You can't say I ain't try to warn you. Should've kept it real just like I told you. This feeling is more than I had to. Why couldn't you just follow one simple rule? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You know, don't rain me. Just don't mess with me. It's simple. 1, 2, 3. So simple. It's only so much a good girl can take. You got me fed up. I'ma show you crazy. It's
Welcome back to Free Flow Friday with me, your host, Cynae TheGoddess. If you're just now tuning in, that was Miss Kiasha with Simple. I was over here jamming because I love that song, okay? It was the choreography. It was the idea she had behind it. It was the fact that she did a video to it. Okay, go Miss Kiasha. You better do that thing, girl. All right, so we are back with our special guest.
Matcher. That's okay. That's what you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Point, I got it.
There you
That's
go,
right.
McCare. Listen, I'm gonna butcher this baby name every time, but I am super grateful that he decided to bless us with his presence this evening and give us a taste of his story. So we did just talk about a couple of things that inspired him and got him started. What really inspired him mostly, when it comes to the music aspect here, recent, that was our last conversation, was the storyline that hip hop brung into the gap. And so we're just going to try to pick up where we left off there and have him continue. So tell us, what was some more inspirations that you had? I hear, or I read somewhere, that you are also spiritual. You want to tell us about your
Yes.
spirituality and where that came from?
Right. Now, and just really quickly, let me say, for those who are watching, y'all pay attention to that video. There was just that. Better start acting right. See, she's gonna mess around, walk off, and be back there behind
It was
behind the
so
building.
simple. It was so simple. What you had to do was listen, be attentive, pay attention, pay
Well,
attention.
hey,
Messages in poems, songs, everything.
I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be back there behind that building like he was by himself. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go into the issue of spirituality. Okay, so during the time that I was getting information that got me on a more of a political kind of activism idea, there were also some people that were doing some raps that, or some hip hop that was a little, I guess some people might consider it different or out there. And it was right around the time that I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm hearing about what we did after we got here. But there had to be something that was going on before we got to America, in the form of shackles and what have you. So what happened before we landed here in 1619? And I started reading about some of the things that were done before the slave trade, and civilizations that were magnificent and lasted hundreds of years, thousands of years, like Indus Valley, Nile Valley, Nubia, those types of things. And I'm like, okay, now why didn't I ever hear anything about this when I was in school? But I was in a country town, so I then started trying to find out, okay, so what was their spiritual path like? Was it the same as us or not? And after doing some research and what have you, I came across a book from a guy by the name of Ra Un-Nefer Amen, and the name of the book was the Medunatary.
Ooh, put that back up. Let me see that. You know, I love reading and finding information. So
Now, I will tell you this:
Metu,
the Medu, which means
Medu.
words, Neter, which is God, so God's words, right? But the thing was, trying to get out of my little habits, I was looking for books that were like 100 pages long or less, almost like pamphlets, so I could read it, get on, keep going, right? But this got like 400 pages. Yeah. So I was like, do I really want, am I going to read all of this? But something just told me to make sure you get it. And as you can see, this is the one that I had from way back when. It's all broke up and everything else, because I've been using it so much. But it gives an account of the oldest, and I didn't know this until I started actually studying, the oldest religion known to man, which is called the Assyrian religion, and something that our ancestors talked about, and how we had a certain perspective of God and what our responsibility here on earth was. And that kind of, that also was another thing that really changed how I looked at situations. Instead of saying them as Why is everything happening to me? Why am I always having this take place? Why can't I get this? Understanding, kind of like a trainer at a gym, things take place that will allow you the opportunity to get stronger if you actually look at them in that way. That wasn't how I was looking at them. I was looking at them like, man, the world is against me. I got a cloud over my head every time I walk out the house. It's raining, right? And it's all raining on me. But that was that woe is me mentality that had me always kind of almost in a depressive kind of state. And so that look or that study of that type of spirituality and getting an idea of recognizing how you can handle each of the challenges that come your way in a way that will not only allow you to grow, but will keep you from having those stress responses that can harm you health-wise and possibly lead to incorrect decisions was also a really important thing. And it impacted how I handled the passing of my mother in December of this past year.
Deepest condolences.
Thank you. One of the issues, you'll be able to tell I had a whole lot of issues. Okay, well, one of the issues that I had also was continue to go over things that had not happened, right? So how am I going to deal with this? Or what happens if this takes place? And usually what I would be thinking would be something negative. So I really had an issue with trying to figure out how I was going to handle
retrain your mind.
Right. And so, but with having a different perspective of how to handle the situation and that I don't have to fall apart, I can actually do something that will be beneficial to my mother in her transition. And then it became a whole different way of looking at the situation. I was very surprised as to how I was able to handle the situation compared to what I used to think when I was younger, right? And so it gave me the ability to understand that I could be a help to her as opposed to her passing, transitioning, and then me kind of falling apart. So now there are two casualties, as you could say,
right.
To her passing. So it's been very enlightening, and it all starts with how am I responding to whatever, regardless of who says whatever, how they say it. How am I responding, and is it a way that's going to be beneficial? Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The only thing you can control is your response.
Right.
Once you condition yourself, you'll be able to control those responses a lot better. You'd be able to not respond out of emotion, but be able to respond more from love and light than
exactly
whatever emotion you're attached to at that time or into at that time.
Exactly. That seems to be, and I'm sure you could tell. I mean, even if you don't watch TV, you see it on the streaming, the posts and everything. People who claim to be some of the most knowledgeable individuals, leaders of nations, or acting like 5-year-olds.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Emotional responses. So, and I don't know if they don't see it or think that it's just normal or it's something that you should do because a lot of people do it. But we see what the state of the world is right now, with this behavior. So, like you said.
That really brings me to your poem. Who wants to be a revolutionary? Like, I feel like we need to go ahead and show that, because I feel like that just kind of wraps up a lot of the topics that we've been talking about here with you today. Like, that is just a perfect poem. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Here is Who Wants to Be a Revolutionary.
I'm just saying, it's all good. Okay, here we go. 2 haikus. First one is called Police. Okay. You want my support? You want me to have your back? Don't shoot me in mine.
Nigga. Huh? Motherfucker.
That was not titled, but you understand when I do. You taught me so much. Thank God you in my life. Rest in power, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful lady. That was a beautiful lady for real.
All right. Okay, let's get to this. Who wants to be a revolutionary? Brutality, inequality. These have long been the cornerstones of our oppression, held together with a treacherous web of perfected deception which held our integrity hostage. And that's when the self-esteem meltdown began to manifest. The evidence being the inferiority complex we passed down like some cherished inheritance or celebrated trait of heredity. Misdirected mental messages which kept downtrodden heads bowed in reverence whenever in their captor's presence, and yes, would even compel them to request blessings for their transgressors. Settling for less was generally accepted, except for a small percentage of those in distress who never let the degradation and begging sit well with them. For them, the bombardment of wretchedness led to discontent, which bred contempt, a sentiment that kept the suggestions of rebellion on each exhaled breath. Although the wages of insurrection were usually death, they knew it might be necessary in order to progress a people to their collective destiny. For them it was a means to an end, but it propelled them to an indelible legacy of a revolutionary. From the days of the transatlantic slave trade to the Jim Crow escapades that consistently came the faces of those unafraid of the dangers of a full-scale war to be played out on top of this blood-stained, star-spangled stage. In their veins circulated a rage against racism that made them fearless and gave them the determination to take on a Goliath-like nation whose name abbreviation was an indication of their Western mind frame, the USA. Land of underhanded and sadistic actions.
Yes.
But what was taking shape was the legacy of a revolutionary. Fast forward to the year 2000 and now. Executive scoundrels lounge at the round tables in the White Houses of their representatives, going on and on about how much simpler it is to control the population with the promise of sensual pleasures compared to the physical infliction of pain whenever they own their not-so-indentured servants. No doubt they sit back astounded at how the allowance of indulgence has countless thousands of brown skins proudly denouncing thoughts of a Malamau, but adopting thoughts of bottles of Ciroc, drowning in Coke and Crown, consuming pound after pound of choice beef ground till potential protesters more concerned with the evening chow are now couch bound and turning into Tinseltown media hounds. This just in, one of America's favorite stars was found in Thousand Oaks, dead from an apparent drug overdose. Problems on Planet Hollywood. Just one more thing for poor black folks to use to keep their minds firmly planted on Planet Plantation with no plans for ideological mutiny. And that's why the voices of those soldiers from the days of old just coursed through my soul to remind me of a much needed role. The role of a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary.
All right. You are a revolutionary. Okay. 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 Deserve some snaps there.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
seriously, that was definitely deep. That definitely depicts who you are as a person, what you see in the world, what you have seen, what you learn, what you're trying to teach and put out there. Like that poem was very expressive for sure.
Yes, indeed. And here's the thing, Goddess. That poem was written. The great thing, not so great thing. The poem was written a while back, at least two presidents ago. So for it to
Wow.
still sound like it's relevant means we need to do something because
I mean, 'cause that's still relevant now. And if it was
yeah,
two presidents ago,
it's we I see platforms like this allow for freedom of expression without, say, for example, someone with a political arm behind the scenes telling you, "Excuse me, we're not going to be able to put this on your show. If you want us to continue backing you, well then you're going to have to make sure that you don't have these guests on, or you don't talk about these topics."
that's why I
Whereas,
love my show. That's why we
uh-huh,
are Free Flow Friday. We are Free Flow Friday for a reason. No censors. Be yourself. I'm gonna be myself. So we
exactly,
need everybody to come on here and be themselves. I mean, I had one person that came on here and just couldn't stop cussing, and they was like, "Oh, can I do that motherfucking right? Cuss, baby. Be yourself. Do what you gonna do. Speak how you gonna speak. Because otherwise, it's not gonna work. It's gonna look robot-ish. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want
exactly.
anything like that. I want everybody to feel comfortable enough to be themselves when they're on this platform with me. So yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Exactly. So it is we the, the fact that and this is why I would say to those who are watching now and those who will be watching whenever this posts to YouTube, you want to make sure that you continue to support local platforms that provide access to local talent, local expression, local viewpoints, right? Because when you start talking about some of the bigger named uh, media platforms or what have you, as we were talking about, there are a whole lot of caveats as to how you can get on or how you can stay on.
Yeah.
And we've got to be able to have, as you mentioned earlier, underground uh, platforms where you have the opportunity to be able to say what you want to say or what is going on, what's happening, how you view something. So I really, really I really appreciate the free flow Fridays. Just really. What do you have to say?
Yeah, what you gotta say? You know what? I think I want to do another roundtable because we did a roundtable before on Free Flow Friday. So I think I want to do another roundtable and get a discussion. Would you like to be a guest? It seems like you're very knowledgeable about a lot of different things here. Would you like to be a guest on our roundtable
I
discussion?
would be happy to be a round table participant. I would definitely enjoy that.
Well, that would be super dope. We're probably gonna have a super awesome conversation about I don't know yet. It doesn't matter. It's so many topics we can talk about. We'll figure it out. But we're definitely gonna do another one because I love to hear everybody's different opinions and ideas on the way things are going. You know what I'm saying? So we might just literally do something random and just have random questions, get the public to get questions going for us to figure out what we want to have as our conversation or topic for the conversation. But before we go, I do just want to go ahead and get into one of the last artists here. This is going to be Jay Humble with Loving You Up. Of course, one of my faves. I don't think we've done a Free Flow Friday without this video showing. So everybody stand the fuck up. It is Jay Humble with Loving You Up. Loving Me Up.
I can take it to a world of a place. I know
stop. Beautiful, I want you now. Really love the way you dance, the way you move it around. Yeah, wind me up, break it down. Baby, give me everything, make it spicy. City lights, explore my town. Let me show you all around, let you sightsee. What do you want? Whatever it is, I can. I'm letting you know. Whatever you need, I am. We want you. Never gonna stop. And anybody act a fool, then we splitting the block. And if you say we got a problem, we gon' carry the one. Lifetime just for fun, you never giving it up. Loving me up, hands on my body. Loving me up, hands on my body. I can take it to a whole nother place. I know sometimes when in love, you better keep telling me. Let go, escape from a world. I can give you anything. I hope you act like you feel you can ever just come to me. Come on, order another round, you're so icy. You never asking for much. That mean anytime you need me, then I'm coming in clutch. So don't be worried about a thing, you know I'm loving you tough. And anytime that I'm away, I'm always missing your touch. Loving me up, hands on my body. Loving me up, hands on my body.
Hey,
Yes, that was Jay Humble with Loving Me Up. I see you vibing because it's a whole vibe. She really make you want to get up and dance, don't she?
yeah.
It's a whole vibe. So if y'all haven't heard of Jay Humble or went and found her, go find her. If you haven't found Mr. Matcher,
There you go. Boom. Look at that.
I got it right. Okay. So go find him on all social medias. Tell them how to find you and your work.
Okay, now you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Just hit that at Matcher Maa. As you see on the screen there. Let me see if I can point to it right there. Yeah, right there.
Right there.
Yeah, Matcher Maa. Also, if you want to see the live version, the 3D version, right? Then you can come to one of the shows, one of the Brown Sugar Lounge shows. Now, I go to this place sometimes to do some open jams, but that's a whole different story. Maybe another time if I come on after I've recorded there without making mistakes, maybe I'll do something there. But make sure you come. If you're going to come to the show tomorrow, it's 4041. Okay, 4041 West Wheatland Road, number 152. That's as the goddess said, that's in the Oak Cliff area. It's going to be, we open at 7. We sign up for those who want to perform is at 7:45, but get there early. Make sure you get there early. We're gonna rock it.
Okay. So after tomorrow's show, what are any of your, do you have any other upcoming events that you would like for our audience to know about?
Now, I intend on hitting up a couple of spots. I want to find out when the release session takes place. What I probably will do is say, make sure that you're checking on my platforms on Facebook and Instagram for any upcoming performances. Okay.
I'm sorry to interject. Sorry, not sorry. When you gonna come perform for me?
You need to let me know where I need to go. I'll be walking in circles if I don't know where to go to.
Okay, because you know the MTS network is always looking for poets. My other venues and things that I do, we're always looking for poets. So once we get out of here, just send me your info, other poets' info that you think might be interested in working with us, so we can go ahead and get a show together. We do have a comedy show coming up. So don't forget about that. And for anybody who is watching the MTS network, we have loads of stuff coming up. We have a rummage sale every Saturday. So come out to the rummage sale. I don't think we're having one this Saturday though. But we normally have one every Saturday. So definitely make sure you come to that. We are definitely going to get together a music festival. So we need those submissions. June 1st through June 30th is those video submissions for the festival. I also think that's the time frame for the LGBTQIA developmental music competition. So get us those videos, submit. We're looking for all types of genres: R&B, hip hop, country, rock, metal, pop, neo soul, jazz. You do it, we want it, we're looking for it. So don't forget to inbox me or whatnot. Even drop a comment here if you would like. We need those submissions, guys. We are trying to put on a show for you guys. Now, don't forget, you're going to be able to see Mr. Matcher at tomorrow night at the Brown Sugar Lounge. That was 4041 Wheatland Road, correct?
That's right.
In Oak Cliff. Doors open at 7. If you want to perform tomorrow night, be sure to get there before 7:40. Make sure we get signed up and prepared. I just really want to thank you again for coming out and showing us who you are and allowing us to dive into you and your life just a little bit. We appreciate you for allowing us into your energy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity and the space to be able to be myself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, tell all your friends, come on over to Free Flow Friday if they're looking for any exposure, if they're looking for a place to come vibe out and just be themselves. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. We're going to end on a super dope note. We have our last video here with a UK artist. She is trying to branch over into the US. Here is Chile Lynn with Unleash Mode. Hope you guys enjoy. Until next time.
Rising up with the fears.
Thank you for tuning in to Free Flow Fridays with Cynae TheGoddess.
Going in. Family and nice like we snowed it in. Bring the respect, make it snow again. Then bundle up, bring the bitches in. Hot like a dark, hella melanin. Bitches be hating, they tell